and get a question in or something? Jeez,
Sure.
unbelievable.
See, now you started that off. Now you got to go edit the first part of my video there, Frank. I'm just joking. All right. Welcome everybody to DirectoyrWebinar number 36. Today we're going to talk about video funnels. And per Frank's request, I will talk slower and breathe. No. Otherwise, you just need to interrupt.
Just take a breath.
I have it's a special superpower I have that I can both talk and breathe in at the same time. So,
Frank, I love how you saved that for immediately after he said, "I'm going to start recording now."
Of course.
Exactly what happened. But I fixed my camera, so I actually have some video this week. It won't just be my icon. I'm actually that special superpower. I'm going to record it on a video, and then I'm just joking. I'm not going to do that. But I will be talking about videos today, so we'll get into that a little bit. Does anybody have, as I normally do, the opening to this? We'll open it up for any questions, comments, or concerns about BD life or otherwise. And if you have a specific question about anything in BD, we can go ahead and answer some questions up front. Otherwise, we can get into the topic du jour. Anything from anybody in the crowd? Yeah.
I have a question. Did you see the post today from Patrick to basically Johnny York about
the one that was summarily removed? That one?
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, that entire post was.
Oh wow!
So
what do you now? I know you've spoken to Patrick a bit about this. I think. What do you know about this Google importing data with the API and?
Yeah, so let me just pull that up real quick. I'll share the video.
That's a Google service.
It is
paid service.
No, well, it's not a Google service. It is it's just a Google API, the stuff that they allow you to buy.
Right, but you said there was like a certain amount of, like a $5 fee per 1,000 photo views or something.
Yeah, it's just like the Maps API, right? So for everybody who doesn't know that, like for Google Maps, there's a cost to using the Google Maps API for your brilliant directories. They just happen to give you $200 of free credit every month to counteract the price that they're charging you, right? But they could very well tomorrow say, we are not giving everybody $200 of free credit. You're going to pay the full amount for the maps, which I anticipate at some point when they want to have some cash to buy Facebook or something, they're going to just do at some point to do that. But anyway, so that really costs money as well. And so this is just another API. So here's what Frank's asking. This is from one of the other Project Pat that has some other services, similar to ours that he does or offers or is able to code in. So this is what it is. It's the Google Places. He has this for images and for the reviews. But what it is it basically allows you to put in using the Google API, the images for a particular restaurant, for example. And there's another one where you can do the reviews. And so what that does is just another Google API code that they tap into. What it does, and this is a caveat just for anybody who potentially would want this, is you need the Google Places ID in the listing somewhere, like in a field, in order for it to pull that and use it and pull the images from Google API. Wow. So if you do not have the Google Places ID for each one of your listings in your database, that is not going to work because it uses that to pull stuff from the API. But it does it real time. It pulls the latest reviews and images or whatever from Google. But just like any other API, because that one's data intensive in terms of the images and all that stuff, there is an ongoing cost monthly to pull those images. And it's basically, and it dynamically does it, right? So as soon as people load it and they pull images, I think it's like $5, like Frank said, for every 1,000 images on your site that get pulled by any users.
Image views.
Or views, yeah.
And then, all right, so I think I have this confused up. Yeah. Is there a Google API for importing business listings? Forget the photos. Forget what was the other one? It was photos and reviews, just the actual business listings to populate a BD site with business listings.
Well, again, there's he does that too and pulls the data. I don't know how he does that. To be honest, you'd have to ask him.
When I saw that price, I said, that service to $2,000.
Right, but again, that's you gotta. That I don't think is that's basically to pull all the data off from Google and get the Google Places ID and set it up to do the other stuff. That's because that's part of that piece too. You got to have all that correct data in order to be able to pull that from the database. But I to be honest, I don't know. I know I don't know if he does it, manually out of the API. I mean, there's got to be some manual stuff on there. They just don't, and I don't think that they want you to replicate a Google service for. So this one, I don't think they have a service for it, because otherwise they're basically just offering up to have you pay to grab all the Google stuff that they have to put a lot of work and effort into. But maybe they do. I don't know. Well, you'd have to ask them. But
now that price says it's up for 120,000 listings.
Right. I mean, because you got to manually pick the locations and the category types or whatever, and then so this is the critical part. There is the Google Places ID. It needs that in order to do the rest of the stuff.
Right. All right.
And I'm gonna try to find that one site that said that they had that on there.
It'd be nice if you can get less listings at a better price.
That's where your art of negotiation skill comes in.
I understand that.
All right.
But some people, depending on the project, they have a minimum,
Let me know how that negotiation with Google goes, Frank.
No, he's talking about with Pat.
No, I'm talking about Patrick.
I think I negotiate pretty well with Patrick. I'm going to look into that.
All right. But yeah, Thank so you, those Brian. Are obviously getting data and any real stuff in there, is good. Obviously, other people have used Elf Site as well. This one had an example of another example from that somebody posted in there how they did reviews off Elf Site. But that's just like an embedding using a widget or whatever on the site, and there's lots of different services you can add reviews in there like that. It's just all takes setup. That one's a little bit more dynamic. The other thing too, actually, I found it right here, so I'll show everybody this. The one thing else also about that other service from Patrick as well. That one's set up almost like a claim listings thing, where you would it's there, it's data, but as soon as you add in your own reviews from the site, like if it gets the first review from your site, then that goes away. Like it doesn't need the claim or the Google ones, because now you're starting to populate it with your own reviews from your own system inside of BD, and then that kind of gracefully goes away. So it's kind of there in proxy, or I guess you could leave it in there and then just turn off your reviews from BD site. But here's another one, just an example of another BD user here that we helped set up just the Elf Site on there. So it has all of the reviews on here. From Facebook, TripAdvisor, and Yelp, and it just kind of dynamically pulls them in, from those different services, and puts it right inside of the site. So, but this one's a manual setup that they pay extra for that particular level. Where you charge them extra money to have like the online reviews on their directory, right? They're paying extra money, and then he goes and manually adds that code into that field that we put in the site there, and then it just now that listing, because it's a premium one, has all the reviews, whereas the other ones that don't do not. I can't remember if he's doing this for everybody, just dynamically or whatever. Or just the premium ones, but obviously you can upcharge for that kind of features. And then we also have the Instagram off from that Elf Site as well in there. So just a couple examples where you can do multiple widgets or multiple additional things inside your directory, and it blends in real good into here just by adding additional widget content. So
is that an individual listing or a page of what? What is?
Yeah, it's just an individual business.
Okay, I got you. Absolutely cheesy. Okay.
Yeah. And so this is just all the
that's one of the Shark Tank ripoffs. Cheese and Tom.
Is
Tom
it?
and Cheese, yeah. Guys made $1 million doing tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches on Shark Tank.
Hey, go where the money's at. And then here's another Elf site widget as well, where you just put a header at the top. So instead of the the generic, I don't say generic one, the one that's built into BD, this one has a little bit more Gucci stuff with the countdown and the background and that kind of stuff. But that's also an Elf site one. So all sorts of options on that. All right, welcome Julie, Dale. Again, just for everybody who hasn't been to these before or hasn't been to one in a while, just feel free to jump in at any time. If you guys have a question, don't I'm not going to call anybody out to talk or anything. If you guys want to jump in or ask a question, feel free to do that. Obviously, again, if you're just joining us, so we're going to talk about video funnels today. Let me just give a quick shout out to my, if you guys go to DirectoyrWebinar.com, that'll forward to my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to go there and subscribe to that, that'd be great. And you can kind of get all the additional upcoming videos and stuff from the webinars here. But inside of there, we have all the previous plays, except for that 1 week that we shall not name that I forgot to hit record. But all the rest of them are in here. And if you want to watch all the rest of the series on the funnels, we've been doing this for a while, kind of going through what funnels are, different types of use cases for funnels for a while now. Let's see where are we at here. Funnel landing, funnel fundamentals, customer journey map. So basically from webinar 26, 3 months ago, we've done about 8 of these going through the fundamentals, some demos, cart funnels of sales, product launch, lead funnels, cancel funnels for people leaving your service, challenge funnels to try to get some, some marketing, internal funnels inside of your page, kind of like horizontal funnels inside your page. And then today we are going over a video funnel. So if you want to go back and kind of look at some other examples or just any type of lead generation or marketing funnels from your website, feel free to do that. A lot of good content in there. But today we're going to be talking about video funnels. So anything else? I missed last week's webinar. I feel lost because I didn't watch the webinar on what they did. So if anything good popped out last week that I'm not aware of, feel free to jump in. But anybody see that last week or anybody working on any other interesting stuff on their directories? Nothing. All right. So let me go again. I'm gonna jump right into the presentation. Then again, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. We're going to talk about video funnels. Same thing today. I'm going to go over some examples of other stuff that some other BD owners have done for video funnels and the explanations. And again, if you have any questions as we go through, feel free to jump in and ask a question. All right. Can everybody see that for video funnels?
Yep.
Just give me all right. So today we're going to talk about video funnels on DirectoyrWebinar.com, number 36, the video funnels. And we've gone over that on other episodes a little bit. We've talked about shooting videos before, doing screen recordings. Some of you guys have got access to Barrycast, the free screen recording software that I offered up a few weeks ago. And other people have using all sorts of different things, whether it be Loom or Dub or other paid services. That's kind of video recording, right? And the video funnel or use of those videos is kind of the next step up in the game of how you execute content on your website. And we're going to talk about that today. So, at the very basic fundamental thing for video funnels, if you have videos and you put them on a funnel page, that can be the first step of a video funnel, right? You have video content on an actual page. But when I talk about video funnels, I'm talking about utilizing the videos and some other technology that has additional stuff in the video that actually provides a funnel type feature, like it provides a call to action or a link, or there's something in the video that actually leads them to somewhere else, leads them down that path to either getting their contact information, giving them additional information about your service, or leading them to other pages that can get them involved with your directory or whatnot. It's not just a static video that they're watching it. So the first thing I want to go over today is why video. Why does everybody here that uses the Brilliant Directories need to start using video for their directory and for their content? And there's several reasons for this, but the first reason is that video is statistically more effective at driving engagement than other channels. It's just proven, right? People stay on your site longer. They're more apt to stay there for a longer time, and it's going to help you out in the SEO for Google because they know they're sitting on your site for longer. So there's something of interest that's going to keep them there. Everybody's starting to see the videos on Facebook ads too, or just more videos than static content. They're just more engaging, and it's just statistically proven that they get more engagement than just static items. Just like images get more interaction than just text, right? Because it's more engaging. They're sitting there to look at the image, and then same thing by video is normally better than image because when stuff's moving, it's just one of those inherent things from from just being human or being movement catches your eye, right? When you see movement, you just look at it. So video is inherently better at grabbing the attention. And so what it also does is it entices people to engage and share with their networks, right? Because it's just, if it's just text, people are probably not going to necessarily forward it. Like if you got a long blog article, I mean, I recommend doing it, but maybe everybody's not going to share a big long blog article and go, this is the best blog I ever read this and forward it. They're just less likely to do it. They're more likely to share, that funny image or that image or a video. And so video entices people to engage and share with their networks that much more. It also positively affects your brand perception because if you are a entrepreneur and you have a business or you are the face of your business or you have some interaction with the people in your niche, right? It positively affects your brand perception when they can see you in the video or they hear your voice. Unfortunately, unlike, my voice, there's a lot of better voices out there that you could probably engage with, right? Like Frank's, for example. But when they hear your voice, right, or they recognize you, that they become more of your brand perception. They can kind of hear your tone, what you're like, what stuff you provide, and they actually look forward to interacting with you. It's that whole community thing, right? They kind of get to know you. And the last thing, it creates that stronger emotional connection, right? And so whether that be with your brand, with the topic sets that you always talk about, or just you or engaging with you, or maybe it's just the people on your webinar, right? So I know a lot of you don't come here to talk to me. You come here to poke at and interact with Frank, right? I know that. That's fine because you're here. We're all a big community, right? But so it may not just be you. It may be your message, maybe other people. But video and interaction on that, it just draws more people connected to your videos. So here's some facts for you. 65% of viewers watch, more than 3/4 of most videos, and a retention rate that is far outpaces that of text-based content. And when I say watch more, when they watch more than 3/4 of video, if you start watching a video, if it's of interest to you and you don't immediately bounce because it's not interesting, most people are going to watch 3/4 of a video. Obviously, if it's a 2-hour webinar, like some of the stuff on mine in there on the YouTube channel, if it's not of interest to you, you're not going to watch 3/4. But just in general, over half of people watch most of the videos. And then audiences are 10 times more likely to engage, embed, share, and comment on video content than blogs or related social posts. And I've already talked about that on the previous slide there, but it's true. They're 10 times more likely to share that stuff. And so just think about that when if you do have videos on your landing pages or you're putting them on there, do you have a way that somebody can share that video? And if not, you're losing out on some potential, again, exponential sharing of that video content. And so we'll talk in a little bit here on, maybe some of the stuff that you can do to make that more viral, right? Or make people want to share. But, there's some content that's just not really shareable content, if that makes sense. But a lot of the stuff is, if it's entertaining. We've gone over on the previous episodes here that the What the Funnel YouTube episodes from ClickFunnels or whatever. Really good content in there, but they're entertaining, right? And so if you're not allowing some shareable options in there, you may be missing out. So consider that as you do that. And then finally, 7 out of 10 people view brands in a more positive light after watching interesting video content from them, right? So if they see something they like, or you're providing something to them, they're gonna. And we talked about this before in a previous webinar as well. The kind of psychological factors of you give me something, I feel like I owe you something in return. So that's in play here, right? When people see videos or brands that have that interactive content, they're going to just see them in more of a positive light. Has anybody used video before and seen any positive reactions to either Facebook or other videos that they've done? Anything from anybody? Yeah, but if you just start using that stuff, you'll start to get some of those positive reactions from people in your circle.
Ryan, one thing, I haven't used a lot of videos on Facebook, but one thing that Facebook does allow is some incredibly deep data on how long your people stay, what percentage fall off after every 2 to 3 seconds, and all that other stuff. So if nothing else, it's a great platform to put up a video and test it against the audience to see how quickly or how long they stay. Some of the data is sadly surprising how quickly people take off, but it's all the first 3 seconds that matter.
Yeah, and we'll get to this later on in the actual presentation, right? But you want to determine how you're going to measure that performance, right? Whether it be views, click-through rates, open rates, or whatever. So we'll get to that in a bit there, Scott. But that's really good, right? I mean, you want to know what your KPIs are using, right? Get some data, know what's interesting to people and what keeps them around and what doesn't, right? And use those stats, use that capability. It all takes time, right? And you got to get used to where it's at and use. But if it's garbage in, garbage out on that stuff, right? If you may be just wasting your time, right? And you're thinking you're doing a lot of stuff and it's not doing anything and you're just spinning your wheels. So it's always good to know that the effort that you're putting in is going to lead to a monetary return, right? Especially if you're doing it for your business.
Right. What we've seen from video is great from the tutorial perspective. So we started uploading some tutorial videos. The members kind of following those steps without having to read the instructions or having them lost in the next steps. What's the next call to action as far as completing their profile? We've seen a major shift in that just by using video.
Yeah. And so we haven't, if you want to have a website there, just as an example for some other BD owners, we can get to that in a second there. If you want. So if you want to grab a URL, we'll reference back to that because I don't think I had anything of yours pulled up there, Rich. But yeah, tutorials. Well, I'm going to do a demo of one real quick. It's going to kind of show you the in video decision kind of stuff or that you can do to enhance a video that's just not a video play. But you're just generally having video on there, right? Just on the page can actually lead to some really good benefits. So what I want to go over today is the 5 steps to an effective video marketing plan. So a lot of these don't necessarily have to be a video funnel necessarily. And so I want to kind of have this today be more just video focused in general. So a lot of the stuff can just be if you're putting any other types of videos, kind of like what Rich said there on any page really. And then we'll kind of get into some specifics on how you can do it for an actual video funnel. So here are the 5 steps, and we're going to go over each one of these. But the first one is define your, video marketing mission statement. You got to know what you're trying to say, get across by the video, right? What page you're putting it on, what the end goal is. And then you have to determine your content pillars, right? You want to know what type of content are you providing. So we gave the example of instructional videos on account setup, right? So maybe that's one of your pillars is onboarding or account setup. Maybe another one is, providing support, providing, feature introduction or whatever it is, right? Answering some frequently asked questions. Just determine what those pillars are. And the third thing is you want to brainstorm the video topics, right? You can't just say you want this pillar and this topic. If it's saying asking frequently asked questions, you got to know what those are, and you want to brainstorm those topics. And then after you get that list of stuff you need to do, don't think you need to knock it out of the park in one day, right? I mean, sometimes you can focus on that stuff and crank some stuff out. But the big thing on this, just like any other stuff, there's so much stuff that you can do for your business or your director or whatever. You want to just, make this a priority and just drip that content out. Slowly add stuff in there, and it builds up over time. But you want to create that content calendar, that drumbeat of stuff. So one, people know that it's coming potentially if you're putting it out or sending it via email or whatever. And then it'll slowly build up to a really big, pool of data and stuff that you can provide for people and utilize for your directory. And then the last thing, which Scott just talked about, we kind of skipped ahead real quick on that one, but determine how you're going to measure that performance, right? You got to know that all that stuff that you're doing on the previous 4 steps is worth anything, or it can kind of refocus what you are going to do later. So that's another reason to maybe drip it out over time, right? Because if you realize you're making all these different, 4 different pillars of content, and only one of them is really getting any traction, and the other ones nobody's watching, everybody's dropping off, maybe that's what your niche, what your audience likes, and just go for gold on that one, and just kind of just push those other ones to the side. Maybe do it because you feel like it's necessary to get them onboarded, or have them get some data or save you time. But you want to put your the meat of your effort into the stuff that's going to perform. So the first step here is define your video marketing mission statement, and so you want to know who your audience is, but it's not necessarily just who your audience is. Obviously, your niche, right, for your directory, that's your audience, and that's obvious. But you want to know who you're making the videos for. Inside, it's almost like a niche inside of the niche. So, for example, again, going back to Rich's example of onboarding, right? There's probably a lot of the audience, or maybe that knows how to do that. It's just going to go fill out their profile. Probably less than you would realize, to be honest. But but there's probably another crowd that doesn't know how to even click a mouse, right? So you want to be able to know who inside of your audience and make it accessible, but not required, right, for everybody. And so the people that need it can get to it. But figure out who you're making those videos for, and you could have different types of video or different content based on how much detail you need to go to. Maybe you don't need to go into detail. Maybe they just need an overview of how to do it in general, and then they can skip the detail video because they just want to know where it was at, how to do it, and then they'll go figure it out because they know how to do that. So think about that as well. It may be just different types of video on the same thing. And that's why usually recommend, and this is where these video funnels would come in handy, is you can break down the videos into smaller chunks or be able to change it out real quick. And you can create a lot of different content or a lot of contoured or catered content that's going to be more readily accessible and more favorable to your audience if you do that, instead of having like stay with me for the next 35 minutes while I detail everything about our website. And you start doing that, and it's just a 35-minute video. So who's it for? And then, determine what type of content you're going to make. Is it going to be entertaining, informative, maybe a little bit of both, right? What the funnel ones we talked about were entertaining. They're like cheeky, funny, right? But maybe your niche or your industry is like lawyers or doctors. And if you're a cheeky, funny kind of videos, then they're probably not going to use your service. So you may want to, obviously, depending on your niche, change it up, but determine how you're going to do that, right? Because that's going to change maybe the words you use, the stuff that you record, or how you do that. Your voice needs to be consistent with that. Or maybe you do both types, right? Maybe, again, going back to the audience thing, maybe you're going to focus on different people for different types of content. And then the last thing, again, you always kind of want to know how that's going to end. What do you want them to take away from your videos, right? What kind of value are you going to bring, and make sure that video aligns with the purpose, and make sure that, when you think about how you want to do the video, maybe it's a nice big, we talked about story arcs before a couple webinars ago, right? How's that story arc of the video going to go? You don't have to script it out, storyboard your video, right? But you want to know how you're going to intro so they kind of know what the video is about. You want to know how you're going to end, and the stuff in the middle, you're just explaining stuff, but you should know how the video is going to end so that that you're providing that end thing that they get done with the video right at the end. And they're like, wow, yes, I now know how to do that. And so make sure that aligns with its purpose. And then, you may want to, and we'll see this again today, that you may have something at the end of the video. If they watch the entire video, they're going to get something at the end of the video if they go ahead and watch the whole thing. So that sometimes you can add enticements in there as well. And we'll get some examples on how to do that a little bit later. So the second thing is determining your content pillars. And so these are just a couple here. There's obviously a ton more, right? But is it a product awareness type? Is it kind of a high level promotional video just to show inspirational content or talk about different how to solve communication problem if that's your niche? What are you providing? Is it just an over glossing thing, or is it very detailed, right? It could be that way as well. It could be a detailed video. Maybe it's just product news, right? Maybe you're just sending a video out in an email. Maybe it's a newsletter and you're just giving a shout out and a product of what updates are. We use a product before called Beacon, and they send out really good videos in the newsletter. And it's literally the developer every couple weeks, he just clicks record and he goes through the 5 things. He's like, hey, we added five updates last week. Here they are. And he walks you through a video on how to do that. Brilliant Directories does that every other week on their webinars. That is how they start out their webinars, right? They say, here are all the 10 things that we've done in the last 2 weeks to help all you guys out with your directories. And they just walk you through that. And so if you haven't been to their website, they clip all those out, right? And show you that content in shorter videos, but they always start out with what's new. Maybe it's just a sales one. Maybe it's a product demo. We've done some of those for some of the products we've had on here before, where we basically just kind of walk you through the actual execution of that software or whatever. Do a product demo. We've truncated them down, and we have those on the website. And so maybe it's just a demo or some customer testimonials for prospects. We'll get into this as well. I know Rich asked for this in previous webinars, so we'll demo this at the end as well. But maybe it's just a video testimonial, right, from some of your clients. Maybe you don't even provide all of the actual content. Maybe you want some of the people in your niche to provide their own content, right? So get some people from your community to submit an example or one of their favorite X's. X or Y or Z products. Maybe they're going to call up and say something that they've learned as a business owner since they've been in business, and they're going to provide a video of that, and then they give you some content to use or share on your social media platform. So it doesn't always have to be you. It can be some of the people in your niches. And again, a lot of people like to do that because it gets, again, their name out, their brand recognition, their voice, and people get to know them as well. So it doesn't always have to be you. And then maybe it's a support pillar there. Maybe it's an explainer video of how to get started or some FAQs like onboarding, like Rich said. So maybe it's a support type. So figure out which ones you want to do video for. Maybe you don't want to do video for all of those. Maybe you just want to do it for some of them. Don't do it all at the same time. Maybe you do a video per week. And so every month you do one product awareness video, one product news video, one sales video, and one support video. And that's one video per week. And you, at the end of the year, you have 50 videos, right, that are now at your that you can use for your clients. So third step we talked about is brainstorming video topics. So helpful how-to videos. You could do that detailed product review that we talked about. Maybe support topic walkthrough. Maybe it's some question that somebody else has had before. We talked about in previous weeks about when people have a question about whether they want to pay for the service or what it's worth to them or what other people have been doing using your service. Sometimes you want to get over those roadblocks, and the best way to do that is to show examples of what it has done for other people, or to show what you have done for other people, and just kind of get them over that hurdle by literally just talking about that hurdle and how your service gets them over that trouble spot. So maybe it's just a webinar recording again. Maybe it's a live stream that you did on with somebody in your group, or a talk or whatever. Maybe you just talked about your company to say, hey, I want part of the group. I just want to do a video here about who I am, where I came from, what we're trying to do. Maybe you're going to talk about the mission set, or why it's so passionate about their, why they should be part of the community kind of thing. Just talk about you or your business. Maybe you want to talk with other people. and show some testimonials. Corey does that for his website on his join page. He's got some video testimonials from clients on there, right? And there's just him interviewing or talking to people, and they're sharing their experience on there. And again, when they see real people talking about it on video, they get more comfortable seeing that there's real people that trust and utilize the site. And then maybe it's just a thought leadership interview. Maybe you're interviewing somebody in the business. So maybe pick a business. This is a good way to interact with some of the people in your industry there. Just pick a couple businesses and say, hey, we're looking for somebody to spotlight. We're going to do a Zoom video. We're going to record it, and we're going to put those once a week on our page. There's another site that does that, where there's kind of like weekly videos with businesses around town. And then pretty soon, everybody around town wants to be one of those weekly videos, right? And again, as soon as people get traction and get some business from that, people will start coming to you. And then again, you don't have to make the video content. People are coming to you to do videos. You reach out and they've heard of it, and they're like, yeah, I'll do that. And so you just kind of, and then you, as Frank always likes to do, and I think is a good recommendation, ask for 3 referrals, right, from everybody that you do interview. And then that just multiplies and compounds. And pretty soon you have enough people to talk to for the next year and a half, right? And you're just cranking out those videos. But again, maybe just do one of those a week and add that to your rotation, or once a month. And that's one of those 4 types that you do. And then case studies is another one, right? You pick a business that has done well, right? That has resubscribed, maybe send out a survey. We've talked about that before as well. Find somebody who actually likes your service, right? And then go interview them, give them a case study of what it's done for them. And again, all those details in a video format really do good things, again, if you post that on your website. So once you have the topics, you have to actually do it, right? You have to actually record the videos. And so do a little bit at a time. They add up over time. I talked about that. I don't even know. I'm going to go check my YouTube channel here. I don't know how many videos I have on here because it racks up over time. Does anybody know if you can tell how many videos you have?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you have the option to turn that setting on or off. So
oh, you do? Okay.
You may have it turned off.
Okay. Well, anyway, you see, you just do a little bit at a time, right? And then pretty soon you have a ton of video content on the channel. So the bottom line is you just do it over time, and you'd be surprised. And this is the same thing and I don't know how much more easier to say this for all content, right? Is all of that applies to every content. If you write a blog once a week, right, for a couple hours, put a blog on there, you're going to have tons of content in there over time. It could be videos, could be if you add a product every week or whatever it is, it adds up over time. And to be honest, all these directories and the way these really perform is the long tail of the ones that I see are really have a lot of traffic. They just consistently add content over time. Google finds it. They get indexed. They get more traffic, and then it goes exponential, right? Once they get so much content out there, and it didn't come up with one day. They're like, I want to post 200, blog articles. They do a little bit at a time. It builds up, and then you see success, down the line. So that's where I've seen a lot of success as well. Add to your funnels and pages as you make them, right? So a lot of times people do the problem of where they have the content or they do it, they just don't post it. I see a lot of people where they add a bunch of blog articles, but they don't think they're very polished, and they never post them. I literally, I've seen it before where there's 20 blog articles that people have written and none of them are published in their BD site because they didn't get done tweaking the photo, right? Or they didn't put in some links or something on a resource thing at the bottom that they want to do. And everything has something different, right? That they quote didn't finish up, and they never post the stuff. So get the content out there. You can always edit it later. Nobody's not going to go because you don't have a cool image on there. You put a placeholder generic image on, the same image on a bunch of, blog articles or whatever. So you can always fine tune that. It kind of goes back to the always editing, always changing the stuff. You always make it better, but don't make the content and then not put it on your webpage. So do it as you go, and you'll start to get some traction on that. Try to do the detail work, like editing in batches for efficiency, potentially. So maybe you do 4 videos a month, but you only do the editing and posting or whatever once a month on that. Just pick a day, an afternoon where you're going to do that. Because a lot of times especially on video, or there's other processes like that as well. But if there's like a bunch of steps to it, like, okay, I'm gonna clip the photo or the video, do that and that. I'm gonna put an overlay on there. I'm gonna make it look pretty, and I'm gonna put a thumbnail on there. I need to go into the video or the image editor and make a nice pretty thing that's in my style or whatever. And then you go back to the other one. Well, if you had 4 of those to do, right, and you're going to go into the image editor once, and you make the 4 images, you're like, delete, add that, change the text, save, change the text, whatever, save. And now you just did 4 of those. It's a lot quicker, more efficient to do that in the batches than to do it at. So while you don't want to necessarily do all the video recording or do all the blog articles, if there's any technical stuff where you have to go in and out of software or whatever, it is more efficient to do that, at least in somewhat grouped small batches. So just think about that in terms of your efficiency. That may be a better way to do that. But again, if you have your system down and you know where you're doing, it's step 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I have a tendency, just if it's a process, it's not that I don't know what the processes are, but I just put it on a sheet of what, with a link or what my processes are. And that makes it a little bit more efficient for me. So I'm like, I need to do a video. I need to do this and record that, download it here, put it there, truncate it here, add it to my YouTube page or whatever, and then add it to my social media profile. There's 4 steps, and then I just know what they are. I wrote it down. I don't have to think about it next time. I just go 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can do that or just do it in batches, but sometimes that makes it just do some things that make it a little bit more efficient for you. Talked about this before, but rotate through your pillars to keep the content fresh, right? So if you're gonna be focused on those 4 things, don't just do 4 videos of one type. Do some other types so it's all fresh and all different. Sometimes you get the content fatigue, or if it's all the same stuff all the time, people just stop being interested. Everybody is aware of that. If you see something a bunch of times or in a row, it's just not interesting anymore. So keep it rotating to keep the content fresh. And then if you have a team, if it's more than you, let everybody in on the action. It doesn't really matter if it's somebody that you just work with, somebody that is on your team that's not normally, the front face of the company. AppSumo does this with their videos or whatever, or like their entire team does those videos. It's not the same person all the time. So every time you watch one of those, it's a new face. That could be their support rep, right? Or the CTO, or maybe it's the CEO, but just people getting different people on camera. Again, going back to that content, keeping it fresh, that can help get people involved and interested in your videos. So once you have that content, though, right? Once you make it and you have all that stuff, what are you? Don't just sit on it. Like I said, you have a bunch of different ways to get that video content out. So I always recommend, you don't have to do all of them, but pick some of these multi-channel engagements, whether it be email, your website, social media, throwing it in chat, displaying it in an ad or on your website, or BD has a QR code capability. So you can do any of these types of things, but pick some or multiples, know which ones that you want to do and do that, right? Maybe an email, you send a personalized email to your newsletters or your people with a little video teaser, prompting them to play it and to watch, get some reward for watching it. Or maybe you embed that video on your webpage, the funnels. We already talked about that. Maybe you post it to your social media and try to build and nurture those connections with social media, the people in your groups. Maybe you just have some stuff in chat. If you chat with some different members or whatever, maybe just throw something in there once in a while to say, hey, before we go, I made a funny video here on whatever it is, or I made a quick video on my favorite racetracks, right? And just throw it in the chat with somebody when you're helping them out. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about, but again, it gets it out there. They think you're giving them something, and they'll watch it. And again, it may just be that little engagement they need to do to nudge them into a buy purchase type thing. So throw it in your chat. If you if you do advertising, right? Maybe you do a video or a short video. We have another client that just is doing some actual videos in advertising, like Instagram video advertisements. So maybe you put a little short video snippet in your ad, so it's just not a text ad or a video. And we talked about or image, and we talked about the benefits of that earlier. And then BD has those QR codes again. So maybe you generate a QR code to put on flyers, and it goes to your BD page profile that has some videos in there so they can go watch it. So just a couple examples, but pick some areas and use those videos that you make. Don't just let them sit there. Use them. And finally, determine how you're going to do that performance. So Scott talked about this earlier. What do you pick something, right? But you want to know that it's doing what you want. So views as the easy one, right? If I go to my Directory Videos channel there's a couple that stand out that have hundreds of reviews and stuff or some of the other ones don't, right? So was it the views only? So maybe it's not that. Maybe it was the day of the week, right? And maybe it was the content type. So utilize all that stuff. Just figure out what it is. And so when you can start, again, the more videos you have, and over time, you can start to see the trends, right? Maybe it's a certain type of video or content. Maybe it's the person, right? Every video I do gets no views. Every video Frank does gets millions, right? So maybe I don't do videos anymore. Maybe Frank does, right? So whatever that is, figure that out and use that to your advantage. Maybe it's just click-through rate, right? If you're putting in an email or type of thing, maybe certain videos get more open rates. Scott talked about the drop-off rates that Facebook provides you. So maybe you determine that when they get to a certain topic or a certain length, right? Maybe everybody drops off after 5 minutes, right? And so if 60% of the people there are there at 5 minutes and everybody else drops off to 10% after 5 minutes, maybe you do 5-minute videos. Maybe they're just too long. Or, use that stuff to your advantage to try to determine what it is. And then maybe it's just the amount of video consumed, right? Like the day of the week or how many over time. So just determine what that is. It could be varied depending on your service, your capabilities of what you're using, or what data it provides. You may not have it all, right? But whatever that does provide, make sure that, if you're not getting feedback, you could ask for feedback, right? If you're showing videos, ask for a survey at the end, or just the people that are consuming your content to try to get some ideas. You see this all the time on social media where somebody's like, hey, looking to do a series on blank. What's everybody's favorite software? What's everybody's favorite whatever business thing? Or just do a survey, right? Ask them what they want to see and then do it. And then we've talked about this before as well in terms of courses or whatever. If you want to go provide some content to people, do that after you've surveyed people on what they want to do. And then when you give them what they ask for, they're actually going to be more propensity to buy or to be engaged or to be happy with your service. So if you ask them and they say, we want to know about X, Y, and Z, those are the top 3 things, then guess what your first 3 topic sets are for your training module? It's X, Y, and Z. And now you're talking about stuff that people actually care about. So ask them and then utilize those KPIs or that information to cater your videos. So those are the 5 steps that you want to look at or do to work on some video marketing for your service. So now we're going to get into the discussion for today. Again, video funnels, and how can we use that to help us out with the actual video funnels, and what can those video funnels do for us? So again, a video funnel, it's not just a video on a page. A video funnel is providing a funnel or something to do in the video. And so maybe it gives them a really unique experience, like where they can pick where they're going in the video. Let me show you this example here of a screenshot of an interstitial choice. We talked about training videos earlier, right? We have some video service or video training that we've done for some other websites. It goes through part of the video, and then it kind of gives them a choice, right? Where they watch the first part, and then we say, hey, you need to sign up before you do that. Maybe they didn't even sign up yet. And they're like, oh, well, I didn't sign up yet. But they don't know how to do that. So it provides them that choice in the video that I need to sign up, right? And then that goes to a different video that teaches them how to sign up. So let me just kind of go that example here right now here. So let's start this out.
Join now to select a membership plan.
Okay, so it said join now to select membership plan. So maybe if I am logged in, I click that. If I need to sign up, then that'll take me to another video. So if I click I need to sign up, then it will actually, load to a different video or whatever. So maybe it says I'm now logged in, and then
after logging in, you will land on your account dashboard.
Okay, so maybe it goes as soon as I'm logged in. I don't need to do that other video, the other step. I don't need to join. Now I just continue with the rest of the video. So it's an interstitial choice, right? But it gives them something that a unique experience. It's kind of the old. Everybody saw those, read those books back in the day, right? The Choose Your Own Adventures. Everybody loved the books because it wasn't like one book from 10 people. 100 people could read the same book and totally get a different adventure, right? Based on the choices you make inside of the book. So video funnels can do that piece for you where they get to kind of have a truly unique experience. The other stuff it can do is it can grab information, right? It's not just a video and it's the old, if the tree falls in the forest, did it doesn't hear it, did it really fall, right? So you want to be able to do other stuff, right? Maybe you can capture an email, right, in the video. Maybe it can help them take the next step, right? So they watch the video, but then the next part of the funnel is, well, you've watched this. Well, what's next? And you point them to that next step, right? It's all about funnel and kind of converting them into leads or to a transactional purchase. It also engages the audience, right? So if they know that they get a choice or they're going to get something after they watch the video, it keeps them engaged and entertained from the video. And it also provides better insights and better performance, right? So what if everybody on there picked I need to join and went off that video to go join? Well, maybe you're showing that video too soon because they probably should have already joined up before they got to the point where you were showing them the video. So sometimes you can get some insights or performance factors there just based on how they're interacting with the videos. And then, yeah, did anybody say anything there? Okay. And then you can also share your videos, right? I was talking about that earlier. If you're not providing a way that they can share it or interact or get other people to watch it, you may be missing the boat on that. So there's a bunch of different options there. It all comes down to different software options potentially. But here's some examples of other things other than that interstitial choice that you could do. So maybe it's an opt-in form. Maybe it's a call to action button, buy button. Maybe you're putting a watermark on the video just so that they know it's you and they get to know your brand. Maybe you're putting some text on the screen. Maybe it's just some buttons with some options so they kind of know the website, right, of what you're talking about, or the link inside of your keyword on your site maybe that they need to go to. Maybe you do give them an offer and there's a countdown video or a countdown timer on the video. Maybe you have that social share at the end of the video so they can share it. It could just be a general button, right, where it asks them to lead and to purchase the item. It could be a video or links to a Maps or calendar, for example. So here's an easy one, right? Call to action. Maybe it's literally just a button on there, but it provides some action to do. So here's another directory that has a video on there. It's literally just a how-to video on the site, and there it is, right? It's just a how-to video, and it starts to play, right? But as soon as I stop the video, right? As soon as I stop the video, because I didn't want to, I'm done watching it or I want to pause it, it just gives them a simple call to action button that says join today. So what if you didn't have that, right, on your video? It didn't have that funnel inside of the video. They'd stop the video and they're just sitting on the how it works here. Maybe they don't know where the join's at, right? Maybe they don't know where the next step is, but I just told them, it says join today right there. And now if you click the join today, obviously it goes to the join page, right? So it's a literal just click of a button, but there's a call to action. It's a video funnel. You're pointing them to the next segment or sequence.
How do you create that? How do you create that feature, or what platform is that on?
That platform, we will go into that in a few weeks. That is directory CTA, directory call to action.com.
Right. Yeah, I figured you had that one. The earlier one where the earlier video of like click here to join the button and then click here to fill out the form. You should get directoryfordummies.com. Yeah.
Directory for Dummies. Yeah. Frank Frank is registering that as we speak. So I can't.
He's already the president. He's the president and founder, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, not to interrupt, but that is a cool feature. I look forward to that because, I mean, you illustrated maybe they're halfway through the video and they think they got it. Sometimes videos will play with audio and they're in an office and they can't listen to it, and they'll figure out, oh, I can listen to it later, or I don't have time for it. But now you've got a call to action instead of losing them. That's a cool feature.
Yep. So, so that's obviously the most simple one, right? But it's effective, right? If you can get them to go to the next thing. I mean, the other thing too is, maybe you just have, you can replicate that too as well. Just have the call to action underneath there, right? But there's just something about that when you click stop, right, and it pops up. It's motion, right? It grabs your attention, just like we said. It's a lot better than something static. Maybe it's an email lead gate, right? Maybe you stop the video and they don't get to watch the video unless they give you their email. So we went over the directory pop-up a couple weeks ago, right? That has similar content where you basically lock down your website. They don't see the content on the website unless they enter their email. It's kind of the same thing for the video. If it's something that they want to see, maybe you can grab their email before they actually watch the video. Another one for these video funnels, it's a share gate. Maybe they don't get to watch the video, or maybe you get them involved with the video. Half of it, you stop in the middle of the video and there's a share gate. Like they need to share it on Facebook then to watch the rest of the video, right? So maybe they're like, okay, here, let me share that. Yes, share. And then they get to watch the rest of the video. Maybe they don't care. They'll just do it. So maybe you have a share gate in there to get some extra likes or shares on Facebook. Maybe there's rewards in there, right? So maybe you entice them, say, hey, if you watch the end of the video, you're going to get a coupon off from the rest of the discount, right? And so any of these kind of perks, the consumer gets VIP experience or coupons or exclusive content. Maybe they get some points, discount, and then you as the brand get the leads, right? You get the engagement, the attention, the data, potentially the sales or referrals, customers, whatever. But there's a trade-off there. Everybody gets something, right? And so it's not just a static video where they watch it and they go, that's interesting. You're actually promoting something, and everybody wins on the rewards piece. So I don't know what this is. This is a blank page. Any questions on this? All right. So then, maybe you do all of them, right? And so maybe you have a full funnel that does all of these actions. So here's an example of one I'm going to demo here in a second. That's an entirely complete webinar or like a video funnel. They're all connected. It's almost like a chat, right? A robot chat, but this is actually videos where they're all strung together, and based on the interactions or whatever, you can do some training here. Depending on what they pick, they go to different parts of the video funnel, right? So this will be one video. If you select, register for a webinar, you go to one thing. If you want to find more about a product, you go to another. So let me go ahead and demo that. And again, this is a full-fledged example of that. Oops, sorry, I forgot to demo this one. So let me backtrack. This is the rewards one, right? I want to do a demo on that, like here. And again, these are all different services or whatever, but here's an example of you're going to get a free directory toolkit product if you watch the video. So that's on there, interstitial over the video. You click that and you start watching, and it plays the video, right? And it's going to give me something at the end of the video. And so you notice up on the top here, it now says the prize unlocks in 270 seconds, right? And if I try to scroll through to the end, it's basically saying, hey, in order to watch the video, you need to watch it without skipping to unlock the reward. Okay. So again, just a way to force them to watch the entire video, and then they get their prize at the end. So that's just a reward example. Here's another one we put in my website here, and these are all.
Whoa, sorry about that.
What's that?
I said, I thought, never mind. I thought I had stuff go out over the air there.
Oh,
Sorry.
no. Mute. If anybody's worried about that, just mute yourself. You can unmute yourself later when you do want to talk there, Frank, or anybody else.
Good idea. Sorry.
You doing okay?
I'm having a rough day, but thank you. I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know. Don't stick around to watch my webinars if you have any issues.
No. Always here for you, Ryan.
All right. So here's an interactive example here, right? So here's a video. I'm going to demo kind of all the different ferrets of this and kind of show you just some of those other things that we talked about on the slides. So here we go. Hi, welcome to Directory Webinar. You have a couple choices today. You can find out more about our featured product, or would you like to register for the webinar? All right, so now I get a choice. I want to register for the webinar. To register for the webinar, all you have to do is click the register now button. It's going to scroll down to the next section. All right, so there we go. And now I have an interstitial thing there where I'm trying to get that they can only watch the rest of the webinar. Obviously, I can do the overlay better on this one, but I have to give their name and address in order to do that. Or you can put a skip on there, so it's like, okay, I don't want to give that, and they just start watching the rest of that. And email and register for the webinar. All right, so let me go back. Let's say I didn't want to do that one. Let's say I picked the find out more about the product. So we'll go down that tunnel. So you want to learn more about our featured product. Got an overlay here. Welcome, a FAQ informed workflow builder that we are offering on Directory Toolkit. So go ahead and click the find out more, and you'll go. Now you notice there that was an overlay. It was just for a certain amount of time. So if they didn't click that in a certain amount of time, right? The offer went away, and now they're watching the rest of the video without that. So you can kind of add that in there as you go. See more information about Malcolm. Now that you're here on our homepage, would you like me to explain Malcolm and the FAQs? Go ahead and let me know if you want to watch that video, or I can just give you an overview of Directory Toolkit since we are on that one. All right, so maybe I want to look around the site first, so we'll click that. Let's do the tour. Because, of course, there's more than just Malcolm. There's lots of stuff on Directory Toolkit. So let's go click the home page here, and we'll show you exactly what Directory Toolkit has to offer for you. So not only is it software that you can add for your site, but it also is other services, either consultation for myself, or adding customizations or additional features from myself, or additional vendors that are offering up their services to you, the directory owner. So go ahead, browse through some of the newest products and services that our vendors can provide you. There's always something in there for somebody. Maybe you just want to do some stuff on your own. There's some videos in here, some member articles on how to do certain things, and you can do that. Okay, and then let's say we want to show the features here. Know more about Malcolm. That's why you originally came to the page, right? So let me give you a quick demo. So here's an example too of one that doesn't go away. It's just up at the top here for the whole part of the video. And so they can just click right on that and go straight over to buy the product, right? Off from the video. They don't have to go try to figure out where it's at. It just goes straight off from the video. They're here on the purchase page, and they did that. Again, you don't have to send them to another page. Again, the video funnel is inside of the video, just based off from some overlays or whatever. So hopefully that gives you guys just a real quick example of what you could do. Again, all of that stuff takes time to set it up, but this kind of comes back to the planning thing that we're talking about earlier. If you set up how you want and what you want and your focus items or whatever you're trying to prioritize or showcase or whatever, that can really increase the conversion rate on that because now it's built in to the actual video player, right? And so when you're sharing that stuff out, it actually provides that. And I think I skipped over part of the video there where I think the last one where it had the social share real quick. I'm not sure where that was at. So, but it was something where it pops up with the social share, and then you have to share it before you move on to the next segment there. So, any questions on that? Again, just a quick example of the full Monty walkthrough there. All right, some bonus stuff. I know this is kind of Rich had asked about this a couple weeks ago. But I just want to kind of show, he had some questions about doing video testimonials or getting content from the people in the community. So this may be a good one for you, Rich, or just anybody else to use. There's a bunch of different examples of this. I just want to kind of show a couple. So this site's called EditMate. And what this does is allows you to have a service where you basically have a little web app or a little web page with your particular campaign hashtag. So let's say it's hashtag give your pitch, right? You add that hashtag in there and hit continue, and then basically people can upload up to 4 videos about that, or 4 examples of their pitch or their testimonial. It could be an example of whatever, and then they basically upload the videos, and then you have content that you can then share on your social media. And so let me just give you an example of that. And anybody else who wants to try it, you guys can do it as well. It is if you just type in dashboard.editmate.com/upload, you guys can take a look at this. But so here's an example of what it could like. Obviously, you can customize this to your brand and everything of uploading the file. But let's say it's hashtag demo, and then you just click continue. And then this kind of goes into a campaign for you, right? You can pick different hashtags, unique stuff on your site. And then they basically, again, you get any marketing information that you want to get from them. And then you basically just add your info. So let's go test.test.com. And then you basically add the file, and you grab the file and then upload it. And then it just sends it to you in that, that video content right there, where they can just add a bunch of videos. And I think there's an option, obviously, to turn on where they actually record the video in the site. So that's one of them, just an example. Again, there's all these things are just use cases, right? Potentialities, all different service types or capabilities, whatever, depending on what you get. That one is kind of like a campaign thing, right? Where you can send out and forward to other people, or just get a group of content right away from other people. Here's another one. This is kind of more of an integration piece, but it's called Zigio. And what this one does, basically an interface where you can configure that and you add that into your particular website, but it kind of does the same thing. So let me just show you that real quick of the configuration on that. It's not really built in right now. It's more of just an example on the page. But again, this works for testimonials in terms of, you set up the little app here, right? You would put this inside of your page, and then people can just record and upload the videos, right? So let's say you want to record a video, and I'm already using my my here on the video here, so it's not gonna do it again. But it would pull up your video there, and you just record the video, and then you can preview the video when you're done after doing the recording or whatever. Or you could upload the video just like the other one in there. But this one, you would, again, just another service, but similar thing where you just record the video or grab that, integrate that into your system, and then you can get all that user content. And again, once you have that user content, you can add it to different pages. I mentioned Corey's just a little bit ago, so since I had mentioned that one, let me just go show you his page. I think it's on the join page. As an example, but if you get people to record these items in here for an example, you can then provide, add it to your website, just like we did on his. And you just have a couple of video testimonials, not just written testimonials, right? These are actual video testimonials from different people. And again, you don't even have to have a service. You can just upload it to YouTube. So these are just like upload YouTube like anybody else would. And now there's video testimonials on their join page. I know a whole bunch of people in here have added that to that sidebar and the checkout page, right, with the testimonials, where people provide those videos, and so you can do that. I've got one on mine as well. Again, these are just showing you other examples that you can do. If you go to directorytoolkit.com/testimonials, a lot of you guys have done client testimonials for me as well, written form, right? And those are on here. But I also have one of a video overlay on there as well, a testimonial that's in a widget that's overlaid on the side of my other just written testimonials that plays a video testimonials. And this one is called Video Peel. So all sorts of different options there that you can do and have people record. But again, video, since that's kind of the topic du jour, it doesn't necessarily have to be a video funnel, right? It just has to involve video on any of those other funnels that you make too. And those can just be dynamic content as well that you can get people more involved with your website. So,
what was that last one? Video Peel?
Yeah, Video Peel is this one.
And on that first one for EditMate, was there a sign-in, email, password, or whatever, or we create our own account?
No, it's what you basically do. It kind of it makes it a little bit easier. And so again, this is one of those things where everything has its own feature, right? So for example, that one is based on hashtags, right? So you would give somebody your unique hashtag, and that's why they would type that hashtag into that page, and it just goes straight to that campaign. Does that make sense? So they don't need to log in to do that. They just basically approve by recording the video or by uploading it.
But we would have to create an account ourselves in order to allow people to upload. Yeah,
definitely. There's other ones like Video Ask is another one. Let me just see if I have. I don't have this.
Because the other ones are running like $100 a month. I don't think we'd have that many video testimonials. It's not something you'd be doing every month with a new one.
What we have, Ryan? Video Peel or?
Yeah, so Video Peel. So this eventually will be in. I think at some of the membership levels for me as well. We just can record a certain number of videos and have that, so that'll look like that as well. But again, it all depends on what your use case is. Some of them, especially obviously video, if it's a service that you don't want to have up all the time, you just want to be able to get the videos or whatever, and you only have a certain number of people, maybe you do the service for a couple of months and then get your stuff and download the videos and just stop using it or whatever. But obviously, everything comes at a cost, right? On whether you're streaming that video from a CDN or a service or whatever, they got to pay their storage stuff. So it all depends on what your use case is, how you want to do it, how you want to market it, what's valuable to you, or how you want to execute it. So. I think that does it for the. Oh no, I don't. I do have a couple other stuff here. So the last thing on this for the video is just think about what video can do. You know, why would you want to do maybe some of those video feedbacks, right? Maybe you're doing some recruitment, right, for talent for either your company or a client, right? And so they can record videos, of how they do stuff. I think Rich, we talked about that the other day, right, with those virtual trainers or people that do talks, right? They had video recordings of the people doing their online training or examples of their voice. If they're a voice recorder or whatever it is, it's just talent, right? Showing what they can do on video. And so you can do that talent acquisition or whatever. Maybe you're just doing, social good. People are recording videos on examples for volunteering stuff or things that appreciation videos, right? Maybe it's just advertising. They're telling people about the events that are coming up or whatever, and maybe you're an event directory and some different local people can get on there and record what events they're doing, and you're playing some videos on your streams on some upcoming local events. Maybe it's a journalism or media request stuff. I got some clients that do that, right? What if people got on there and recorded exactly what they wanted in words on video, what they were looking for an article or an expert on a certain journal piece, and they can actually record a video and upload that to, you can push that out. Maybe it's just an e-greeting or invite sites, right? Maybe they're just saying hi or doing that kind of stuff, and you can kind of do some greeting stuff. Maybe it's teaching. Obviously, that's big. big roll of stuff. Maybe people want to provide training and stuff, and maybe you're providing videos on different topic sets, and you're going to give them a discounted directory or a free directory thing if they provide some video training for your clientele. So maybe it's just teaching stuff. The old dating site, right? Maybe they give a profile. Actually, surprisingly, I haven't seen many of those on Brilliant Directories, right? Because you could do that on Brilliant Directories, but do a dating site, right? Do a little video intro where they kind of tell about themselves, and then you can swipe right. Maybe it's just a tutors, right, or teachers. We talked about screening stuff with Rich a second ago. Maybe it's just a screen type thing. Maybe it's a casting. Maybe it's a political site, right? And you got some political pundits that want to give out their opinion in different areas. Maybe you can do that. We have some clients that do babysitting. Maybe it's caregivers that you have them record a video. So people that are having people take care of their children, record a video about themselves, and you put that on their profile. Testimonials, we talked about that. Maybe it's a crowdfunding platform. You want to put some stuff on there about the product or different people's plea for donation, right? Maybe it's an online survey. You're just asking for some responses, and maybe that video is just part of the survey where they can answer a question for you in video format. It could be some internal training for your team or for a particular industry niche. Could be talking about a product, right, where you're literally showing yourself a little video snippet on there about what the product is. All sorts of stuff, right? These are all use cases. Just think about what you would want to do for your directory, your videos, what niche or itch that could scratch, and then maybe video can help you do some of those items. All right. Any questions or examples of other stuff that people have used before, or if they've seen video work for them, or have any other questions?
Video Ask looks like the best of the four for a starter package or starter options, and it has some additional kind of unique features. So you can embed it.
Yeah, let me share. I did just toss that out there and didn't kind of.
Yeah, that one. So I kind of surfed around all four of them, and they actually have a use cases, drop down tab, and it's pretty cool because it allows you to kind of engage with people, get feedback, post it on your site.
Yeah, and I didn't mention this either. They actually have a workflow builder as well. So let me see if I can. I'm actually just gonna type in that workflow builder. Hopefully I can grab an example of that, or have them talk about that.
While you look,
we're throwing new streamlined. Yeah, there we go. And it's type form too, so it's another big form software. But
right.
Let me scroll down here. Workflow.
Because I wonder if that widget in the bottom right-hand corner is also part of their platform, or like we use.
Well, yeah, it's like Warm Welcome.
Warm Welcome, yeah.
And Warm Welcome may actually do that as well, but okay, that's a workflow. That's not what I was talking about. Video Ask workflow around interactions. It basically gives you feedback. Let me export this real quick. Just kind of pull this up in the browser here, just to kind of show you. I do have an image here. I just can't find it on here. Give me a second.
I mean, in theory, one of the other examples you gave, instead of another widget, just asking people to film their testimony on YouTube, that requires them, filming it, recording it up, but then they could either have it on YouTube or post it on their on the directory page. If you allow them to post, one video for free, their testimonial video, but services like this are probably more intuitive or user friendly to capture the testimony or feedback.
Yeah. Again, it depends on what your use cases are. The other one's more of a, if you want to go high end, kind of customize the API or do your own thing. But yeah, so here's an example of Video Ask. And this one's more of a chat kind of thing, like warm welcome, but we'll open up theirs on the site and see what it does. But this is an example of their workflow builder, but you basically create videos in an intuitive and efficient way by creating, those different workflows. So you can actually jump up on the screen, talk of your own self on the video, and then it'll play different video parts depending on what you ask for. Like, hey, just wondering what's your top focus now as a small business? What are you most concerned about right now, or whatever? And so if they pick on that, they're like, oh, that's a great. I'm glad you're concerned about price. Everybody, nowadays is concerned about pricing. So what we've done is we've got a special deal for people like you. Use code, discount now for 50% off for a limited time only, and we're going to help you out. And then after you do that, it then goes to and so thanks so much for checking us out today. Whatever, and you get the point. But it's more of this is basically Video Ask, and warm welcome is basically a video. It's a video chat. And so instead of a chat bot, it's like pre-recorded video on here.
Hey there, it's Maya with the Video Ask team, and I want to learn all about the future requests you have in mind for Video Ask. The best way to send us your ideas is in a video message. That way we can gather more information and context from your requests. And then afterwards, if you'd like, you can leave your name and email so that we can have a follow-up with you, maybe ask more questions if we need to. So feel free to share any and all ideas you've got, and hopefully we'll be able to build them out in the future.
Right. So now you say share your request. And I already went over that. It can't pull it up because I already have it live on the webinar here. But yeah, or maybe it does. Maybe it will. Hold on. I'm gonna allow that.
I wonder if they're using that warm welcome feature, or that's just Video Ask. There it is.
So anyway, yeah, you would just record it, right, staring at the camera, instead of the dot in the corner, and then you submit it. So yeah, I forgot that they had the video record in there. So kind of threw that out there, and you're right. It probably is one of a good example there. But this is kind of like a video chat, but you could have that, subsequent to your own, follow-on stuff where you do multiple stepped things as well. And then while we're talking about, I threw out the warm welcome. I know you probably use this more than me there, Rich. So we can actually show it on your site, but I don't know if that has the same thing. But very similar site where it's like a video chat, relationships as opposed to a chat. Here we go.
There's the dude. He invested in this platform.
Is our video.
Kevin O'Leary.
If you have any questions or you want to learn more about how warm welcome can work for you and your business, feel free to reach out right here. Leave me a video message or a text, and I will get right back to you. I look forward to chatting more. Bye.
It's interesting to play Kevin O'Leary's video, his take on it. Yeah.
Oh, did you mean that you can actually play that?
Yeah.
I don't hear any sound though.
You might have to minimize or X hers out, but that is weird. Yeah.
Anyway, so you got, and so this kind of goes back to everything we were talking about, though. You can, it's just a lot more interactive, right? When you see that by some chatbot, right? Yeah,
because that video business card, and they have an email. That's what if you scroll down, we use the email, and it's all free. So this personalized email, and what we do is we have a like a 1-minute explainer video about our service, and it's incorporated in all of our email signatures automatically. And then it's on our homepage as well, but I really haven't used it. Now there's a testimonial, so I kind of forgot I haven't, it's on our homepage, and it looks great on desktop as well as mobile and all that stuff. So it'll pop up in the lower right-hand corner.
Yeah, I'll come to that in a second. But yeah, you can do multiple videos, right, with video playlists. So again, video funnels, right? So this is really exploding now with video services, and so there's there's again, you don't have to use any of my services or the ones that we use today or anything else. They're just all over the place, right? Go find one, Google it, find one that works for yours, spend some time on how you want to do that, but involve video, right? Because it's one of those, it's kind of like social media where like what everybody wants to see you on social media. It's not gonna be too long. Everybody's like, what video service are you using, or how are you involving video? Because everybody is starting to use it now for various things, right? It used to just be realty agents, right? With that,
right.
What is that big one? Bong or Bing
Bomb.
Bomb. There we go.
And then you have Buongiorno or it's like Buongiorno, but Buongiorno, something like that.
I used to when we were looking for houses, it's just all the realtors were using this because they basically they're always in their car driving around to things, and they're always about leads. And so I was looking for a house, and it was the newest thing a couple of years ago. Every realtor was instead of sending me a multimedia message with them in their car, they're like, hey Ryan, you're looking for a house. This is John with John's Real Estate. We got listings that right now that I can help you. Just call me back. We'll talk, right, and we'll find you the perfect house. But realtors use it all the time, and it's only the last few years, right, where it's everybody's starting to do it. There's other examples too where they're starting to get in with videos where it'll actually put your name in the video. Like it'll literally look like this, where it'll say, "Thanks, Rich." And I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. I didn't write your name on my card. It just adds you to the video automatically in that email response, right? Or people are playing the videos where it's embedding the video in the actual email, right? Just like you were talking about. So let me go back.
Yeah, I get that like from my American Express email statement or whatever. So I get an email from American Express and it has a video. And I think it either says my name or definitely prints my name, but I think it says my name, my first name.
I'm sharing the desktop, right?
Pretty wild.
So here's the one in Rich's. This is the warm welcome example, but same thing is down here. But now instead of him talking, right, it's just a video. But now I can reply with the video.
Yeah, that's what I like about warm welcome, because not everybody wants to turn their camera on and send a video, but you'll see the three options. They can either send a video, or they can send a like if you play it and pause it again, I guess. And then so I can reply with either video, audio, or text only. So then they can just type me a chat message, or they can, instead of only being a chat, because not everybody wants to do a chat bot, sit there and type all day. But like I use LinkedIn, and instead of sending typing a message every time from my mobile, I'll actually just hit the record button, and instead of doing a voice to script or voice to text, it'll actually on LinkedIn on your mobile version, you can hit the record button within the LinkedIn app, and I can record an audio and send and then send an audio.
Facebook Messenger does that now too, where you can just record a message and send it too. So everybody's doing video, audio, multiple venues, right? Yeah,
because then you have the tone and the enthusiasm, or they don't misunderstand the tone and then it saves the hassle of trying to type something out or voice to text and correct all the typing and all that mess. Yeah,
right.
The lazy man version. This is a lazy man tutorial. Yeah.
So all sorts of cool stuff. Again, just to take some time, take some thought, and take some money. Depending on what you want to do. But all sorts of options there, right? For you to interact and to add video into your directory in some capacity. Right. I think this is the first, though. I'm done with that by 3:00. That's never happened before. Wow. Usually we have a little bit more discussion at the beginning. I don't give the presentation until like an hour in, and then we're trying to get things done.
Well, I saved my questions for the end this time, but yeah.
You did? All right. Yeah. Hey, Jerry, welcome. I just saw you jump in there, so welcome again. Does anybody have any questions? Nothing's going on with anybody's directories? No questions? Everything's smooth sailing? Don't know.
I do have some, but I might let somebody else go because I have some rapid fire questions. Unless
the answer is no, yes, maybe, and that'll cost you. Anybody else?
Okay, well, I'll just start with the first few questions, and skip the last one. So what I have, and I think a couple of these might be straightforward and helpful for other people. The other ones we can take this to, we can book a time to cover a little more detail on. But a kind of a general question to start off with is this premise of our top level categories. I'm kind of reevaluating, like anything else. Once you kind of get into a project, every once in a while you kind of step back and say what's working, what's not, what we can, because you never really know what you don't know until you get started, right? But anyway, so right now we have, as you know, podcasters, guests, and resources. Resources is where it's becoming kind of a gray area, and I'm just rethinking. I'm going to pivot and move everybody just into that marketplace that we created. So my point is, what are your thoughts on? I mean, should we replace like resources with another category, top level category, based on the call we had the other day, like speakers or authors? But I mean, basically, everybody.
Well, I guess the question is, are you getting people to sign up on your site that are like you're not getting rid of the resources? Are you're just not getting signups for like resources just coming to your thing like I'm a resource I'm going to sign up because I make microphones,
Yeah, we are getting signups for resources at pretty good, volume. Almost no resources are paying because they're thinking about from an advertising standpoint, right? Of like, hey, I'm going to list my widget on here. If I pay for it, I'm going to expect ROI, right? Because they're not looking to get booked on podcast, or they don't want to be a guest on a podcast per se, right? But if they did, they would have picked one of those categories. And I think if you look at it, it kind of confuses people sometimes. We have people signing up for resources because I don't know why, but they shouldn't be. And then for the matching service, like you'd have to log in now because I changed the settings, but to get matched, to get booked, you're saying, I want to be, I'm a podcaster, connect me with a guest. A podcaster is really not wanting to be connected to a microphone company, or to a hosting platform. That's a shopping experience, right? So
maybe you just don't have them three like this. Maybe you have these two side by side, like, and then down, below it, you have a button that says, have a resource, or get your resource in front of podcasters and guests or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep that, but I'm thinking more like just advertise your resource in our marketplace, right? So we relabeled it tools and resources. Like if you click on tools and resources, I want to keep this page, active, but this is where a hosting company, email marketing company, editing company, equipment company, they want to be listed there in the marketplace. So that totally makes sense and is viable, but I don't know if they need to be a top level category to be listed in there. And if they do we kind of, but can we take that out of the integration from the getting matched form, right? So if Ryan, you're
let me go over this. Yeah, these are always tricky when you have categories, the same thing as an item.
Right.
And so here, let me just and we've had. I'm just going to show this one website. This one. This was actually that's not it. So.
Well, I mean, while you're pulling that up, just as a example, like if you're Ryan, if you're a best-selling author and I'm a award-winning podcaster, and you get to the get matched, why is you don't want to get matched to a hosting company or to an email marketing company? You'll shop for that, but you're not looking to get booked. There's no booking involved in that because all of our languages that get booked. It's almost like with Airbnb. You're either own the home or you want to rent the home. You're not on Airbnb looking for restaurants nearby to get.
Right, but they don't necessarily have to use the get match form just because it's on your site necessarily. I mean, it may just be for those certain membership tiers that use that kind of functionality where the third one doesn't. But here's an example of one kind of the similar thing, and this may apply to your directory as well. And so it always takes some thought ahead of time before you launch your directory potentially, because it does take a lot of work to change it after the fact, especially categories, especially when you have listings that are in categories. As soon as you change the category structure around, it can strip all that stuff from the actual listing or whatever. And so it can be problematic sometimes. So here's one as an example. And this usually happens kind of like what Rich was talking about, where anytime that there's a product involved. So here's a soap, a directory about, handmade soap, right? Whether it be for men or women or bath bombs, just homemade soap, right? Everybody's seen these at fairs or just stores, and they make the stores smell really nice when you're walking around, right? But they sell soap, and they're really cool, especially if you have that sitting on on your counter instead of like just a generic push soap or a bar soap, right? They look cool. I actually. But anyway, so the categories on this one, it's all product based, right? So let's say we have candles, and these are all products. But what are you going to do for the categories of a business that's listing? Is the category of your businesses going to be candles, pets, and bath bombs? Well, just remember, if you have a top level category, you can't pick multiple categories. So now you want to bump that down with the hidden top level thing. So maybe all these are subcategories of the business. But now, if I'm a business and I'm selecting candle as a category, that doesn't add any of my products to the candle product category, right? And so sometimes you can cause confusion on, now I got to pick it twice. So I'm in the candle category, but then I'm going to place a product. But now I got to pick a category for my product, but I already picked a category. Don't you already know that I do candles? I picked the candle category, right? But that's a different thing in the BD ecosystem than the actual post, right? And so if we go into here, these are all product post types. It's a candle product, right? Let's go to this one. I'll have to check that to make sure that's not something that's not working. But if you go in there, it's a product post type, right? And then anyway, that doesn't necessarily match up with the categories. So sometimes you maybe want to go more generic on the actual listing, right? It doesn't need to have all the ferreted details of the product in the category for that a particular company, because you're just a resource at that point. You're just a shop. There's no other categories. You're just a shop, and my categories here come in when you post products, right? It reduces some confusion. So that may be what you're getting at there, Rich, where they have a category of the business for a type of resource, but then they still have to add the category when they add the resource as an item, right? Potentially. I think yours is the other way around, where it's actually just the listing. They don't actually place products. But as soon as you do that, or however you have that set up for yours too, that's going to be problematic later on too, because now they're adding products in there, and they already put their category of the product as the business product category, but now they got added again. So
yeah, I'm not sure.
Does that make sense to you at all or whatever? I know it's not apples and apples necessarily, but I just want to let everybody know on the directory side, you got to think about, if anybody has any questions, they can ask. But think about how the BD directory is set up in terms of listing categories of the business or person, vice the actual potential posts. If you have products or houses or whatever it is, or classifieds, right? They're two different things.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, so you have to kind of get started. But like if you click on one of those categories, say the one you're on there, or that one's probably fine, because we don't have some people in all of them, but we do have, I think, some people in this one. So, I mean, couldn't it be just as simple as, so there's 9 people here, so it's not really a shopping cart. They're just listed as a member, and then based on their membership level, they would have, their social media or their hyperlinks to their website posted or whatever, right? But so can we just maintain that? But have a tab basically like a landing page for like tools and resources. Because actually, if you go to tools and resources, there was a red bar that says, add your business or add your, service there. What does it say? Right. Click here to claim your listing as a resource, right? So then it would go to the pricing table, I think, for resources on that red bar where it says click here to claim your resources.
Yeah, that goes to the join resource page.
Yeah, so it goes to that. So can't we just leave all that intact? But then how do we take that? Is it easy enough to take the getting matched feature? Like if you click under get podcast bookings. So, well, I mean, there's the drop down. I'm not saying, but if you click on one of those, it really just goes they all go to the same page. But on the process, if you click on it, I don't know if it's the internet's catching up or.
Oh no, I didn't.
If you click on it, this is what I want to eliminate for the confusion, and I want to take it off the home page. As far as when you land there as a visitor, and this is an example of a tutorial video I just loaded yesterday. But see where it says I'm looking to get matched to, right below the video. I'm looking to get matched to. Can we take the podcaster out of there, or is that a major situation?
So yeah, let me talk about the lead setup here real quick, and then I'll answer your question.
And actually, before you jump off,
yeah, let me just answer that real quick. So just as an overview for the lead management, if you guys go in leads and manage leads, the settings are in here. It used to say settings, but now it's inside of here. Inside of that, once you're in the leads, you'll want to go to the lead settings up here and go to the auto match workflows. And what you want to do, there's always one main action. Right. But what Rich is asking for is basically you want to be able to have different workflows for each different audience or membership group that are being talked to. So the answer is yes, you can do that, and no, you can't. And I'll explain how this works and what that is and why. So the way this is set up is these are lead flow actions for membership levels, not categories. Okay, so if you have a membership level for podcasters, right? If you have a membership level for guests, and if you have a membership level for resources, this will work, because what it allows you to do is when you click edit on here, this is the default action. You'll notice, I just want to kind of show you guys the difference between this and a custom one. There's no option to pick categories here of membership levels, because this is the default one. It assumes that everyone is using the main action. Not until you go add another action does this other option appear, and you'll notice it when it opens up. You then basically are saying to the system, hey, I want to apply this action to this membership plan here. You can do one or multiple. But you're basically saying, for this membership only, I want you to do these flow and these settings. And when you save it for the premium membership and I click that, it's going to use this flow and this setting and these options for that membership plan. And everybody else that's not checked in this one is going to use the default. If you make another one, and then on the other one, I click website administrator, that flow is going to be used for that group. The one I just made for premium membership is going to use that premium membership one. And then everybody else that I haven't made a custom flow for is now going to use the default flow. So I could potentially have 7, because I have 7 categories in here, 7 membership levels. I can have 7 different flow processes and or settings, one for each membership plan. And this is this often causes confusion for people, but it is the membership plan that the form is being submitted to. So, for example, if you are on a podcaster guest or podcaster, let me just use that one, podcaster profile page, and somebody is submitting the direct lead on that, like contact me or whatever, they are submitting that form to that membership level. It's going to use that whatever flow is set up for that membership level that's be submitted to. Okay. So this is a membership plan level thing. If you want to do something that's specific to let's say everybody's in the same membership level, and you're like, I want to do a different form for people that are in the podcaster training category, top level category. That's not a thing. It's membership plan level, not category or any other item. So it's membership plan only. And so in that, you can then pick different things like maybe the locations are on or off. Maybe you only want to do top level categories, or maybe for that membership level, you want to do the top sub and sub level, or maybe, and this kind of gets to your question, Rich, maybe you only want to use sub and sub category levels. Okay. So for that form, if you wanted to be only sub and sub level categories, you would then say, I only want that to be for guests. And you would pre-select basically the top level category for the subcategories that you want to be included. Does that make sense? So you would create a flow for podcasters, and then say I only want to show sub and sub level categories, and I want it to show it for the podcaster top level. And what that'll do is that'll get rid of that top level because you're only displaying the sub and sub level. So it'll kind of pre-select it as the top level. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
So
I'm just trying to extrapolate what that's going to look like, the user interface experience.
It basically gets rid of that top level. You're basically instead of, I think yours is probably set up as this: show my top, sub, and sub level categories. Right? You pick the top level, it loads the sub. You pick the sub, it loads the sub.
Right.
There's just 3 questions. So yours probably needs to be changed from that to the sub and sub only. It gets rid of the top level. It just gets rid of that first pull down, and then you basically say, I'm pre-selecting. It needs to be the podcaster. So when that loads, it's going to pre-select podcaster, and the first thing that's going to show up is, just like you manually selected podcaster, it's going to show you the subcategories of podcasters. Is going to be the first selection.
Okay, I mean, I think I get kind of the gist of it. That's I'll just kind of play around with it, and I think I can kind of test it. And
that's what you had asked, and whether you can do that. Now the other option is you can also, and I worked with BD to figure out how to do the process. You can actually pre-select in the forms what category you want, and then hide that field so that only so for example, you could pre-select the top and sub category and only show the sub categories, for example, or not even have to show it at all, because we have one client that literally has 30 different get matched forms on the site.
Wow.
And so what it basically does is, at that point, when you go to the website, it basically says, what type of consulting and training company do you want to get a quote from, right? And so it'd be like, I want Bumblebee quote. And so when you click on Bumblebee, right, it would then go to that get matched form that already had the top category and the Bumblebee category pre-selected. Those aren't in the form anymore. You don't even have to pick the pull down, because you're basically saying, I want to be connected to an editing company or whatever. And I'm going straight to the desired form. And so you're basically clicking a link to get to a form, as opposed to getting a generic form and then having to select a pull down.
But back to the form settings for right now, in the interim, couldn't we just go to the form and hide the resource category as one of the top categories, or you have to pick them all?
Because it's dynamically pulling from the database. Yeah. So whatever's in there, you can't say, I have 50 subcategories, I want to show 10. These are the 10 I want to show. It just doesn't do that.
I mean,
because it's pulling it from the database in whole.
Could we change resources and not make it a top category? What if we made it a sub or subcategory?
Yeah, then it would. Yeah, then it obviously wouldn't be in the top level category anymore. So yeah,
I'm just trying to think of this is something that I need to do. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best of, if there's 5 options, what's the best kind of long-term situation, or without causing major problems. But because I'm just envisioning where a person would go to the resource, or what we call the marketplace, and they're like, oh, I have an editing service, or I'm a voiceover artist, so I'm not a guest or a podcaster, but I have a great tool or resource for podcasters, and so I'll go to the marketplace and just add my I'll create a membership. I'll pick the membership plan just like everybody else does, and pay my monthly or annual membership. But I'm not in the get matched box. I'm in the category of the shopping cart. Kind of like the soap website. So, I mean, are you saying we could just, because there's not that many. I mean, I'm at the point now where we don't have tens of thousands of people, or whatever, right? So it's it'll take some time. But even if I have to manually move people over to these other categories, or sub-level categories instead of a top level. But I mean, you think that's viable or no?
I mean, yeah, but I think this solves your problem. But just by doing this, that just gets rid of that option to have to do that pull down thing if that's your only thing. I think there's some benefit to keeping them in
top level
in those categories, right? Because then now they're in the resource categories, but your products are in the categories. The other option is to do it, and I kind of struggled with this on mine as well. And just kind of show you this example on my website, but. I'm putting some, I'll eventually be putting a lot of different tools for my toolkit, just for stuff I offer, just other stuff on the internet, so if we're talking video testimonial stuff, right, it would just be, a list of different services on the site or whatever. But I have, I struggled with the difference between the product and the business, right? Because you have it at the business level, right? Where you have member profiles, right? Of businesses or resources, right? And then they have, that is the product. The business is the product. And so what I did on mine here, I'm gonna try to do this as an example here. Oh, actually, no. Let me do this again here. Products and services. I don't have them listed out yet. I got to try to backdoor way to get in there. Trying to think. I think Berrycast.
You have an ad for Brilliant Directories on your site. That's kind of looks like
just an affiliate.
Yeah.
Link in there. So I think this. There we go. Okay. So here's an example. So we talked about this before. So this is in the video and screen recording category, right? And so this is a product, or the software video tools category, right? So I have a bunch of different services on here. So if you want to do video recording, right, screen recording, you can do a couple different services. So that's the one that a lot of you have, and Cloud App's another one, right? But so here's just a couple different services, right, in that category. But this is in the video software, a specific post type, right? But the actual business, this is not the business, right? So in your case, this would be the resource. Like, it's not the company, it's the actual service that they provide. So if I do voiceover or video editing, right? I don't put my video editing business as a resource. My business is in there as a generic resource, but I'm going to post my actual resources in a specific resource category in a post, not as the listing. Does that make sense? So let me just go into the Berrycat. And so this isn't how yours is set up, but just something for thought, if you're trying to figure out the restructuring or whatever. But the looks like I need to make this full width here. And I think this is a glitch. If anybody else sees this in their site, what they edited something on the coding on this. I've noticed this on some other sites. But if you have the thin border, it doesn't shrink the stuff in the images anymore, like the buttons, and so it'll wrap it to another line. And so if you do see that, the easiest way to do that is just to go from your thin to your wide sidebar in there, just to be able to fit everything in there, and that usually fixes every site I've had to do that on, but I've probably had to do that on 4 or 5. So just look at your site. If anybody has that, the related listing business stuff with the thin borders, you may want to change that. So actually, while I'm on that, I'll just go show you guys where that's at real quick, and I'll fix it for my site. Otherwise, I'll forget about it. So in the settings and design settings, you guys want to go in there to edit that. And again, the other option obviously is just to go edit that or fix the glitch if you want to leave it as thin. You just have to shrink the wording, basically, is what you're going to have to do in that particular location. But inside the design settings here, once it loads, there's going to be an option in there for sidebar setup. And each one of these now, they did this about probably I don't know, say about a month or 2 ago. They now have this sidebar alignment in there for additional settings. And that is my post search result. And you see I have it left slim. I'm going to change that to left wide and save changes. But they have one for all 4 of those main ones, both the member profile and the member results, the post profile, and then the post search results. They have the thin, and you can change it left or right, and then right or slimmer or wide there. And I'll go ahead and refresh this, and that should look better. So that's how you edit that fix. So now that I'm on, let's go back to my my point there. Maybe I didn't save it. Try that again.
It looks like he saved it, but on the refresh it didn't. And you got a couple of extra tabs open up there. Yeah, like kind of looks like my
This is just one of my this is the one I did for the for the webinar. I've got another one open with more, there's more of them. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
That is weird. Why did that not do that? All right. Well, I'll figure that out later. But that's where you should do that. Let me hit my refresh live website. They changed that that verbiage a little bit as well. So maybe I got to do that. Falls, fails, send in a support ticket to BD. So what I did on this one is I have the business as, I don't know what's going on. I have the resource right as a post type, and so now I have, this is more, I guess, a service, but I have, it's not duplicate content, but now I have the actual listing, right, for the business as the actual listing. So this would be what you have, right, where the resource has its own resource page, but it's really just the business or the listing page, where you have the overview. But why I did it like this is because now I can have information about the business, right? All of the business's social media stuff for the business, or about, and maybe the business has multiple, again, resources or multiple products, right? Right. But now I highlight the software and tools, but the actual one, as I have it set up, it's the same thing. Berrycast, service. It's the service, but this is the company of the service. This is actually the service. And so what this allows me to do on this one, obviously, is to have all the features, both the forms and the fields, set up to highlight stuff that wouldn't be a business type stuff. I don't care what the business website is or what the business Twitter account is or whatever, right? But I can have different fields for the properties or stuff of a resource or a software, and now I can have that on the software, page. And so I did it like this, and so maybe if you restructured it like this for yours, that could help simplify the category structure, because instead of having all the listing or resources as a category in there, and
remember,
now it's just software companies or resources. That's the only it's just there. But the actual categories of me placing the post is the actual category inside of the the post itself, not the category of the company. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense more as a visual where they can kind of tell their story rather than just like a member listing, because the member listing for resources has those default fields in there about ask us your interview questions and tell us the about us and all that or whatever. It should be more like like almost like an advertisement for their resource, their product or service. But now that fee for $11.99 a month, this is your personal site where you're collecting that money. But for companies, they would end up going to the company, obviously, website to do business.
Well, no, this one's not. So I'm not selling.
Yeah, it's like an event. It's like an event listing. That's the ticket price, and then they would go to the website to learn more. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So that's just the price. It's free to $11.99, and then so if you click on that, then that's just going to their site if you want to buy it or whatever. I'm just providing the tools, right, for your website to go do that. Right. And then you could set it up with that affiliate link or something if you had it with that company or whatever. However you set that up with your.
That's what I'm planning on doing. Actually, is I've always since day one, but you can only do so much at once. But I had a vision to have like a whole affiliate page, but maybe rather than doing that, I'll just create a listing like you illustrated there. Because we've not had great success in selling companies to pay monthly fees. Guests and podcasters are, but not the companies to promote their products. So I'm looking at kind of pivoting and making basically our whole marketplace more of affiliate links for the most part. But on that button where they clicked on the the price of $11.99 based on their membership level, can you have that button not active or because I don't necessarily want them leaving our site.
This is a post. Yeah, you can definitely. And so if everybody doesn't know, you can set up anything on your site really to be based on the membership level, but it's generally one of two things. It can be either the membership level of the person logged in or the membership level of the person that is that you're viewing, right? So if you're looking at a premium membership, if they didn't pay to have, I'll just use the affiliate thing as an example. Let's say they're not a paying member, then I have my affiliate link. But if they paid for it, they can add their own link, right? And so maybe it's maybe they can put their affiliate link on there if they paid. I don't know. I'm just throwing an example out there, or you can have it show up or not show up based on them being there. So let me just this is a real quick example of let's see of something. This isn't the pricing page, but just kind of show you something what it would look like for a I am logged in type thing. So I'm not logged in right now. So if you go on this one, if you go to the search results page here, you'll notice in some of these if they've paid or at a certain membership level, they can add their resume into the thing here for the staffing network one. So you'll notice here, because I'm not logged in, it tells me I have to log in to see their resume, right? So that actually takes me to the login page. If I was logged in or was a paying member of a certain membership tier, because I'm paying as a company to get these dental assistants, and I paid, it would then automatically show me that the resumes as I was going down here to look at, because I've paid to see the resumes. Does that make sense? So that's just an example of stuff that you'd see or not see, or looks different based on your membership level and, or in this case, being logged in or not logged in for a certain membership level. So
yeah, and ironically, that actually piggybacks right to my last or second and last question is I figured out, or I think last time we were working on it, where changing the appearance based on a visitor versus a logged in member. So I can change the menu bar, but I forget where we left off on. I think you illustrated there was a hack around or whatever for how do we change the appearance of the homepage? Because I had this big aha moment, light bulb moment or whatever. It's like you've been on the website a couple of times surfing around, and when you're as a visitor, you see all of our join options on our homepage, join as a podcaster, join as a guest, whatever, and then the 3 easy steps, all that stuff. But that's useless. Or how do we remove that once you log? It's like you're logged in right now as that company. What is it? The car rental company. So you're already a member. Right. How do I take off all the, obviously you notice I changed the menu bar. So there's no pricing tab on there. There's no FAQ tab. Right. And as a member, you're able to click on the bookings tab. But how do I take off create a free profile? I already have a profile. Can I change the home page? Because even if you scroll down below the pricing, it goes into, or the 3 options, it goes into kind of 3 easy steps to getting started. And you notice I don't have the next to the home in the menu bar. I changed, join for free. Right. So below there, they don't need to see the tutorial video. So Ryan, if you're a member and you've been a member for a day or months, you don't need to claim a new account. You don't need to create a profile. You don't need to claim, you don't need to look at all these 3 options anymore, right? So how do I put new content on there? Like the blogs and the videos and and like below there, I took off the featured members. I just have members, but I'd like to have, members on there, or like announcements, like join our, here's a sample from our videos. You know what I mean? Is there a way to change the homepage experience that's different for the member?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember one that as an example here.
Because I was able to customize this homepage, which was amazing. But on the design settings, whatever, it only allows kind of one homepage setting. You can't create.
Yeah, I don't have an example of that. I do have one that does that. I don't remember which one it is to show you. But bottom line is, you can do that. You just have to use some PHP coding to determine whether they're logged in, to turn stuff on or off, or add different content in there. So you can pretty much do that with any content. It just gets it's kind of like sometimes it's the same thing for mobile, or like show this for desktop, or show Y for desktop, Z for mobile. Like it just recognizes a certain cookie basically, or parameter, and then it changes it based on what those parameters are. So in this case, if you're logged in kind of thing, then show that. If not logged in, show that. So you just have to wrap that stuff in the actual coding, wherever that stuff is, to turn that stuff on or off. So you can do it. I just am not prepared to, I guess, go over that right now or for today. So
yeah, I'll schedule something.
We can't do that. So that's more about just get a hold of me. We'll customize it and work on it. Okay. It depends on where you're at and what you have to do. So, right. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just stop the recording for today. I just want to remind everybody to go to DirectoyrWebinar.com if you want to see the replay. Go ahead and click like and subscribe, or whatever those YouTube options are. And again, we'll see you back here next time. Same bat channel, same time, place in 2 weeks for the next directory webinar.
Thank you, Ryan.